something
That's
is reoccurring, if it becomes
yeah.
a reoccurring theme in your life, so you need to take a step back and really look. I'm very big on if something feels off, you need to take whether it's a yellow flag or red flag, you need to take a step back and look at it. So,
Okay, let's work this. Well, what's up, family? We are back with another episode of Legacy Builders Podcast. It is your host, your favorite nephew, your favorite preacher, your favorite podcast host, Jaheim President, and you've tapped into a space where faith meets real life. And we don't just talk about building our future, we talk about healing what's broken inside. And today's episode is going to be so great. It's going to be so amazing. Today's episode is called, before I say it, I need you to like and share and like this. Subscribe to us at Jaheim President TV. Subscribe to us on Instagram at Legacy Builders Podcast. And we got a TikTok now, Legacy Builders Podcast. So do all those things. But today's episode is, how did I lose me? And if we're being honest here today, a lot of us are walking around looking put together on the outside, but disconnected on the inside. My God. You smile, you show up, but deep down you're wondering, who have I become? And where do I go? And where did I go? And so my guest today, this is my first, y'all. This is my first guest on Legacy Builders Podcast. We've been doing this for 4 years, on and off. But today is our amazing guest, and today's guest is someone who has walked that hard road and is on the way of finding herself and her way back. Today's guest is none other than, let's see, woo! Makayla
Ooh,
Wilson,
hey,
aka
y'all.
Kayla, aka
My
Kiss
God.
for K. And she's not
Yes.
just wise, y'all. She's real. And this conversation is not about being perfect. We're not perfect people.
Mm,
Far from it. But it's all about being honest. So whatever you are driving, walking, or just trying to breathe, I pray that this episode meets you right where you are. Let's get into it. This is my first host on Legacy Builders Podcast. My prophet, Makayla Wilson. Speak to me.
whew. My God.
Introduce yourself
It
in your own
feels
way.
surreal to be here. Like, I watch Legacy Builders podcast faithfully. My God. If you ever see him post screenshots of somebody going crazy with all these back-to-back messages, it's probably me. It's probably me. So it feels surreal to be here, but I am so thankful to be here. Wow.
Yeah, she is a big help on Legacy Builders Podcast. She's behind the scenes, and we'll get into that. You know, she loves working behind the scenes, and I believe that this is a season that God is pushing her forward in many different ways.
Mm,
Huh? Many
mm.
different ways. So before we get into it, how are you really doing mentally, spiritually, emotionally, Makayla? Just as we lay the foundation of this conversation, how are you?
Mm. That's a dangerous question, honestly.
How you feel right now on the podcast? Right now, just right now.
I'm happy to be here, but personally, this has been a crazy last 2 months. Like, it's been crazy. Life has been lifing,
Yeah, that's all you had to say. That's all
but
you had to say.
yeah, as Dorinda said, I'm still here by the grace of God.
Listen, I can't wait to do that. That episode has been going crazy.
No, seriously.
Listen, but um, I'm in this season personally, Makayla, of faith in action. Like
Mm,
I feel like I've been so dormant these last couple of months, and I'm
mhm,
just finally putting faith into action. Like finally relying on God and finally just saying, I got to make it happen.
mm,
Me and God, we got to make this happen. And I can't sit and complain and wondering when other people are going to show up for
mhm,
me. I got to show up for myself. So that's how I'm doing, and I think that's me. Me. Remember that word, me, y'all. Me,
me.
me,
Mm.
me. Remember that. That's gonna be a big theme. But spiritually, how you doing spiritually? Like, how's that going?
Hmm. I feel like when you go through certain things in life, I feel like your faith is tested.
Hmm.
My faith has been tested, but I also feel like when you go through things, your faith grows. I feel like I'm stronger in my faith now than I've ever been.
Hmm.
Because I feel like sometimes you got to go through something to figure it out. So spiritually, I feel like I'm getting to where I need to be.
Hmm.
But just it's been crazy. Life has been crazy.
I
Seriously.
think I think spiritually, I've been in a place where I just seen I've seen God's hand
Mm,
work mighty, and I'm seeing, and we're not preaching here, but I've seen when I release control.
mm,
And I kind of got that from you, and and you said sign whatever, and I want I want to tell you this on while we're watching the camera, your faith and the way you kind of see life and the way you kind
mm,
of push forward through everything you've gone through, grief, all this other stuff, business owner. She does it all, but you manage it well, you balance it well. And I really have, ever since we've gotten close, you have really been like a calming. Oh Lord, that's somebody. that's, oh, Lord, Jesus. You really have been a calming voice in
mm,
seasons where I wanted to really throw it in the towel
mm.
and give up. And I wanted to give you your flowers while you're
Oh, I can
on
smell
here.
them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that too.
I wanted to give you because you don't know how many times you pulled me out of a rut jokingly and and just having our, I say our personal meetings where, we're other friends and stuff like that. So let's get into it.
Woo.
I'm just saying. No. All right, so let's dig into the point. The moment you felt lost. So was there a moment or a slow unraveling that made you say that this isn't me anymore?
I feel like a lot of people they have those defining moments. They'll be like, I remember the day, I remember the hour. I think for
Mhm.
me, I can't pinpoint. It's more of just like a gradual thing. Um, Definitely a gradual transition of just how did I lose me? Seriously, like, but then I also feel like in that same breath, I can say it was gradual, but you said, "How did I lose me?" But did you ever really find me? And that's really where I'm at. Did I ever really know myself to lose me? So I feel like yes, it was gradual, but I
So
also I don't know.
was there any indicators? Like some people lose their hair. Some people like just look like for me, y'all. For me, when I know I lose myself is when I looked in the mirror and I looked Makayla with disgust. Like I looked at myself, y'all, and this is real. This is real. Yeah, so this is real. I looked at myself in a mirror, and this was 2023, y'all. Yeah, 2023, fall of 2003. I've just started teaching, and there were other factors, but I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, "Who is this? Who is the
Mhm,
person that I'm looking in the mirror?" I was going to work, tore up, my head tore up, So I think for me, it was that moment of, okay, Jaheim, you have lost it because moved up here, y'all know the story. Uh, moved up here,
do they know the story?
be quiet. I moved
Okay.
up here and I thought I expected life to go a different way, but it quickly, quickly went a different way. And I got upset because and it was also a mixture of grieving. We're both grieving our
Mm,
grandparents,
every day.
you know, and we'll gotta I'm gonna add on to that. And I was just grieving transition from graduating college, just everything new, and I just wanted some stability. So with this, you say you don't pinpoint the day, but was it affecting your day-to-day mindset? Like, did you see your mindset shift?
I would say yes. So To go back to the first question.
Mhm.
Lord have mercy. I'm not sick, y'all, by the way. But to go back to the first question, so I do feel like it was gradual. Just because I feel like for me, like how you just said, I have all these accolades, like I do this, I do that, and I juggle
Mhm.
it well. But also it's like when you always on the go, you don't never have time to sit with yourself,
Mhm.
reflect with yourself, analyze things. So I feel like that's how it kind of lost me because I was immersing myself into this world I was trying to create instead of making the world work for me. I was trying to immerse myself into this world. So I feel like it was gradual, and with me doing that, I do feel like it affected my day to day. So I'm more absent than what I would like to be, and I feel like that also contributes to me losing myself as well. I'm not as involved or as present as I want to be. I feel like that's how it affects my day to day.
I say for me, it makes me unmotivated. Like when I have those seasons, like I'll go to seasons where I'm just like sitting here, just doing unnecessary stuff on the phone for hours. Hallelujah.
Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling,
Hmm.
other stuff, whatever. Um, it's real. It's real. It's real. And I find myself, and then I think I get more angry at myself because come on, Jaheim.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You ever had that moment like, come on, Kayla? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, you just be like, come on, man. But then then you go. I think you go from that moment of you felt lost to now you living in that moment of shame
Hmm.
because now you're shamed that Makayla, the organizer, Makayla this, Jaheim the preacher, Jaheim the teacher. We feel ashamed that we even let ourselves even get lost.
Mm.
We feel shame that we even let ourselves even get to that point. I know I did, and it was not Makayla. It was not really dealing with the loss part. I think more importantly, it was dealing with the shame that I could even get lost. You know what I mean? Have you ever been in a kid like where it's like it's you're mad that you lost, but you're mad that you're ashamed that it happened to you.
Because how did I let myself get here? That's a real question. How did I let it get to this point? Especially if you're somebody who likes to have control over, like how you clocked my tea earlier, talking about I'm the type I like to have a handle on the situation. But when it comes down to that and you don't and you lose yourself, that's a problem.
Right. And so but then you live in that state of trying to retrace your steps, even though it's say you don't know, but then you start to retrace your stuff of like, when did it actually happen? How did I let that slip into that moment? You know what I mean? Like for me, I was just like, oh my God, how? And it's so easy to blame other things. Am I right? Now there are other factors, okay, but there's still things that they're so easy to blame other people. But at the end of the day, me. Remember, I tell y'all, me. Sometimes you got to deal with me first.
Mm.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Listen, she got a lot to say.
Yeah, I
All
do. I'm trying not to expose myself. Yeah, I done told him that about 5 times.
right. Yeah. So listen, yeah, yeah. All right. So we've talked about the moment of how we felt lost, and I think how it affects our daily mindset, and the battle between shame and all this stuff. But we deal with people. She
Mm,
works in HR. She's
literally people
when
all day.
Legacy Enterprise gets into our building, she's gonna be the HR rep. Huh? Y'all heard it here,
Ooh,
Legacy Brothers Podcast.
I ain't see that offer letter yet.
Yeah, because we ain't got our building yet.
Oh,
But we deal with. I say that to say we deal with people on a daily basis. I'm a teacher. I deal with people, coworkers, kids, all that stuff. And I think sometimes when you serve, we YPD, serving in the church, serving community.
Mm.
I think we get into, Makayla, that people pleasing trap. Am I talking right here?
You talking right.
I'm talking right.
You
All right, so
talking
we get
right.
into that people pleasing trap. And so how are roles and expectation and outside pressure contribute to our people pleasing? So how do you think the pressure of how do you even get into that people pleasing trap? Like how do for
My
those
thing
who are like,
is, to be very honest, very transparent, I literally had this conversation with my mama maybe like a week or two ago. Like I told her, like, I will wholeheartedly admit I have a people pleasing spirit. Like I don't like to see people disappointed.
mm,
I recognize that in myself. I will be very honest and transparent. I do have a people pleasing spirit. And that can, I mean, of course it's good because you're helping people, but
mm.
it's very detrimental towards you. And I realize that in myself. Being a people pleaser is very detrimental because being a people pleaser, you will do whatever it takes to make somebody happy, even if it means diminishing your own happiness. And that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous. The fact that you would put somebody else's happiness before your own is crazy. But I mean, it's something that we do sometimes.
So you just segue into the question. Did you ever feel like you were performing for everyone else but losing yourself?
Why are you trying to make me scene on here?
I'm not trying to. These are questions. Hey, disclaimer, folks. I sent her the questions. I
Did,
told
but
her
my
to
God.
delete whatever question she didn't want to answer, and she didn't delete this one. So we're gonna ask her that. Okay, I'll go first while you're thinking about how you're gonna answer this. Okay, I'm a preacher.
He is a good one at that.
Bless you.
My God.
I'm a teacher, and so and especially with my kids, my students, I love my students. I talk about my students all the time. I love them like they're my kids. Sometimes I think it's going to be the death of me, but I think going so hard, especially when my granddaddy died, I think
Mm,
I didn't even I felt like I didn't get to grieve the moment because with me being a preacher, I've preached three of my family's funerals.
mm,
Three family members: a great aunt, well, great uncle, God, no, great my granddaddy, and then a cousin, second cousin, whatever. And each one, especially my granddaddy, like we were at the hospital. I was there when he took his last breath, and eventually, the first thing that was asked. And I knew it. Soon as I felt, okay, Jaheim, we got to preach this now. Okay. And then so we went through the week. My mama said, no, you won't be, yeah, let somebody else. And then I literally was in the kitchen. She's like, but your granddad would want that, right? And so here it is. I'm not even being able to grieve fully because now the whole week I have to prepare a sermon and give my family hope, give them revelation. But in the end, I'm like, what about me? What about me?
me.
What when? And so, Makayla, I relay it back to you. It don't have to be your personal life, but even your workforce. Have you ever felt like you've been performing for other people, but in the end, you knocking on the door saying, don't you knocking in the inner self of your door, don't forget about me, don't forget about me. But then you shut that voice off because the people come first.
In my everyday life, I do feel like I put people first, and it does become very performative. It's almost like you're in a performance, you're wearing a mask, you
Mm.
know, masking what you got going on to help other people. You out here, you're promoting like other people's emotional wellness, their physical wellness, their spiritual wellness, and on the inside, you are tore up, you're drained. But as long as they're good, then it's fine, right? What about you? And I'm saying that with so much confidence because that's something that I do to myself. What about you?
What about you? So, 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 does the need to be strong all the time impacts your identity?
You know, I feel like this is something that's, like, more common. I see a lot of posts, the strong friend, check on your strong friends.
And we both happen to be strong.
I'm about to say we self-identify as a strong friends, but, I feel like that's performative too in a way because everybody talks about, "Oh, I'm the strong friend, I'm the strong friend." If you really know what being a strong friend entails, you would not wanna carry that. You would not wanna carry that.
You just happened to something. Do we want to be the strong friend because that means everybody depends on us? So that means if we're the strong friend, we're never going to be left out. Do you think that some people become the strong friend so that secures themselves and their position in the friendship? My God,
I wholeheartedly believe that. I do.
because I think there are people out here. Oh God, I hear you, Makayla. I think
Yeah.
there are people out here who are wanting to be the strong friend, but they don't got the grace,
Mm-mm.
the capacity to be the strong friend.
Mm-mm.
Because, like you say, the strong friend, and sometimes I'll message Makayla. Sometimes I'll check up on Makayla because I know Makayla is one of them people, y'all.
Here you go.
She
Here you
ain't
go.
never gonna tell you how they're feeling. So this how listen, indicator, pause on the break. This how I know Makayla had a rough day or whatever. She we'll call our other friend Nicole. We always talk. If we don't talk every day, we talk every other day. There's never a week where we don't call or whatever, whatever. And so if she drop, I'll say how you, I be, but you can tell by the tone of the voice. So she says, I'm doing well, yeah, yeah. And I'll be like, Makayla. And she's like, yeah. And then, she's one of those friends you gotta, crack down and once you know we talking and yeah, da 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 da. So I think from one strong friend to another, Makayla, I
Mhm.
think it is okay. I think that's what friends are for. It is okay to be weak in certain areas. Like,
And
go
mhm.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, and that's what I'm learning because, like you said, I feel like when we all first started growing our friendship, y'all ain't knew none of my business.
Man,
You would have had to pull it out of me, but I do feel myself getting more vulnerable and open with y'all because I realize that, at first, like you think of the strong people thinks there's strength in my silence, but really I feel like it's strength in letting people in, letting people help you.
mm.
That I feel like it takes more strength to let people help you and you already a strong friend versus just holding the weight by yourself.
And that is so true. So our friendship is so crazy. Like you would think if you saw me and Makayla in person, you would think me and Makayla have been friends for years. It hasn't been years,
No,
not long years, but
no.
I think, and I think that's that spirit, no spirit, because Makayla, like how you said before, I've gotten close to you, Nicole. Before that, like I would never let nobody see me weak, because in
Mhm.
my family or in whatever, if you show some type of weakness, somebody's going to try to grab on that and hold you down today. So now all the time I hear, well, you a preacher. Okay, so what am I a preacher? I'm Jaheim
You're
before
human.
I'm human. You know what I mean? Or
Mhm.
I'm Mr. President. And I think y'all have allowed me that space, and especially you, Makayla. You've allowed me that space to be Jaheim and talk out Jaheim without the backlash of it ever coming to, like, you never have been able to question you never question my call. No, you know what I mean? You shouldn't pretty much know most of the stuff about me. And I know most stuff about her. And I've never questioned her ability and the gifts that she's had in her life. So I think from one strong friend to another, I thank you for that space and even that time to be Shaheem. You know what I mean?
I
And
agree.
and Makayla, I thank you for allowing us that space to be Makayla, not all the roles you wear.
I'm gonna say they know the real me. They know the real me.
And y'all wouldn't realize how funny Makayla is. I think that's one thing that has grown in our friendship. Like Makayla is super funny, y'all. Like for real, for real. Like she is hilarious, and it's like different humors, and it's so weird. I'm just plugging into our friendship. It's so weird that we all of us kind of talk the same, and it's so weird that our families are picking up. You know what I mean? It,
My
is
God.
crazy. But I think that people pleasing trap is so digital. You know what I mean? Like we're living in a digital age.
Mhm.
Everybody wants likes. Y'all go
Yes.
ahead. Y'all go ahead. Makayla, go ahead and shout out your TikTok.
With .love.k.98. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, go ahead and tap into that. But we're I would say we're rising influencers. And I
Mm,
think you can kind of lose yourself in that too because you're chasing. You know what I mean? You're Many of us, I had to learn. I'm not gonna be a TikTok dancer. Like I'll give you one little
mm,
move, you know what I mean. But I had to realize that there's value in what I'm presenting. Like there's value in what you're presenting on TikTok. There's value, you know
mm.
what I mean. And I think that's another part of people pleasing is chasing the clout, chasing the the validation of other people.
I You said a mouthful. How Nicole said earlier, diddle.
No, but
My
how do you feel
God.
about that? Like in this social media culture, like how do you tell somebody that it is okay to be you and to make the world accept you, not you know what I mean?
It's hard because I love social media. Social media
Yes,
is a blessing. I
it
feel
is.
like some people are where they are because of the impact of social media, but social media is also dangerous because you get on social media and you see somebody with a similar background as you and you instantly compare yourself to them. Comparison
Mm,
kills. Comparison
mm,
kills. So it's helpful, but it's also dangerous because now you're getting in your own mental saying, "Why am I not where they are?" So it's hard. I
mm.
understand, like, we want to tell people, like, "Be yourself," but it's hard to be yourself when the world has already set the tone for how you should be. And then you got social media, and you got people out here acting how they should be, and now you're trying to align yourself with that. So that's tough.
I think it's very tough because we try to get both of us trying to get a piece of that check.
Huh?
Okay, I
Mm,
want the check,
okay.
and I think people pleasing not only in social media aspects, but also in family circles.
Mm,
You know what I mean? I've recently had to like my whole family dynamic is crazy. And I had to realize that, you'll be close to certain people, you're not gonna be close to certain people.
mhm,
Friends too, church setting, whatever setting, find your people. And I think that's what it is. You gotta find your
mhm,
tribe.
mm.
What is it? What we did one year retreat tribe called Quest.
Tribe Called Blessed, fool.
I edited that part out. But I think you're better. You're your real self when you find your tribe.
I agree. You can be your authentic self when you find your tribe.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's more. You gotta find your tribe, and I think that'll unlock you. That's one way to unlock you out of that people pleasing trap.
Mhm.
Like because, like you said, it is so, but it's so easy to get into. Like, would you agree? Like, it's so easy to get into that people pleasing trap. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. For
Why?
sure.
Why do you think it's easy?
It's easy
Going random
because
question out here for.
people have I can't remember what it's called, but they have, like, a natural sense of euphoria. Like, if you're a people pleaser, you perform your people pleasing, and if somebody, like, "Thank you," like, they pour back in you, like, "Thank you," like, "This made me feel great. Thank you for making me feel this way." You're instantly gonna get this sense of euphoria. And that's like you're like, "Dang, like, I made this person feel good. Let me continue to do that. Even I may
Mhm.
feel terrible, at least they feel good." That is quick and easy to get into that and stuck into that. Trust me, I know. So, and I'm gonna leave that right there. But it's very easy to get into that.
It is because you you know, gotta get good at it. But it's
Oh no, take it there.
no. I'm just saying, even no, I can't take it there. I can't take it there. I can't take it there. I ain't take it there.
Oh,
But it's easy to get into that because, like you say,
Mhm.
you make people feel good, and then I think you get so addicted to making people feel
Mhm.
good
Mhm.
that you're willing to lose yourself in the process.
Hmm.
So I long as and I feel like that is a culture. I feel like that's especially in the black culture. Can I take it there? Revelation just hit right there. So we'll see the struggling single mama giving her last, and we think that that's how it's supposed to be. So you know what I mean. So then we got to give our last because somebody gave their last, and I think we have to balance out the idea of helping somebody and not manipulating them to where we feel good, they feel good, or using that
Mhm.
as manipulation. You know what I mean? Because I know you don't care nothing about you, but I'm gonna keep using you because you make me feel good, and I know if I need a fix, if I need
Mm.
something, you'll always be there. Don't be the
Mm.
side hoe.
Don't
That's,
you know one thing?
that's the side hoe mentality. So that really is.
Crazy.
That is the side hoe mentality. Okay, y'all.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
That is the side hoe
I can't
mentality.
say what I want to say.
Yeah,
Proceed.
me either. I played that role before, and I ain't never going back. Being the side, I'm never going back to that. Never, because in the end, can I pause there? You helping somebody else out, and then they still don't want to be with you. Being the side because you're the side hoe. Done that before, and I ain't going back to that. Okay, let's
Don't
go.
go
So
back.
no, all right. So this is the best. This is the part where I think we always want to focus people trauma.
Mm.
But I want to focus. I've been more enamored by people, and I believe my friend right here, she's healing. It's
My
hiya
God.
shando.
Healing.
Oh
Heal. That's literally
God,
the season of my life that I'm in. Heal.
right? They're called healed. All right, so
Mm.
she's healed, and so Makayla, I want to ask you. Okay, so what sparked your healing journey? What was that come to moment like? Okay, I got to go.
I feel like what really prompted me to want to pursue a journey of healing was when I didn't recognize myself and I knew I had some work that I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be. I didn't it goes back to how did I lose me? I didn't recognize who I was.
Mm.
I became without divulging too much. I started seeing myself in different situations where I was just subconsciously like just being I don't want to say being mean because I'm not mean, but just like giving off this animosity towards certain people. And I was like, girl, that's not you. You're a very kind person, you're a very patient person. Why are you so anxious? Why are you so irritable? Like what's going on? What's really going on? And I had to take a step back and try to find the root to the problem and be careful with that. Because if you recognize that there's a problem and you want to get down to the nitty gritty, sometimes you're not going to like what you find. And I did not like what I found. I did not like what was revealed to me. But at the end of the day, if you want to make progress, you got to do uncomfortable things. You got to make yourself uncomfortable. And right now, I'm in a season of being very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Very.
Yes. So, that's what prompted my healing journey, just not recognizing myself, and wanting to be better than where I was, even though it's like you project like, "Oh, I'm fine," but deep down, you know you're not fine. So I wanted to actually be fine. I'm telling people I'm fine, but I actually wanted to be fine. So,
My God. So in that, okay, so you animosity, stuff like that. But
mhm.
spark, your spark, like was it a instant like I gotta do something about it, or was it more maybe this is a one time feeling, maybe it's just that I had a bad day at work. Like what really pushed not what, but what okay, how did you start? Like what is like was it praying more? Were you Were you just seeking? You know, you can answer this. I know. You can answer this for the audience of like,
Yeah.
okay, it's easier to say, okay, I looked in my mirror, da da da. Da. But okay, what was the first step that you actually put into it?
I saw it's one thing like if you just have one bad day,
Mhm.
but if it's
Step that you actually put into it.
I saw it's one thing like if you just have one bad day,
Mhm.
but if something is reoccurring, if it becomes
Yeah.
a reoccurring theme in your life, so you need to take a step back and really look. I'm very big on if something feels off, you need to take whether it's a yellow flag or red flag, you need to take a step back and look at it. So it was a reoccurring issue going on. So I started to pray because like I said, I'm growing in my faith.
Uh
I love God, I do, but you better be
huh.
careful what you ask him for. Hear
Yeah.
me and hear me well. If you come to God with a certain mindset and a certain feeling in your heart, you better be ready for what you ask for. And I
And
was
she
not ready.
no.
I was not ready. But he said, if you're asking, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna reveal it to you. And that he did. So then I had to make myself ready.
So what's and I'm gonna kind of want to yeah okay, nah, I'm gonna skip that. So, is it possible that I'm gonna skip around here? Was it possible that losing you was necessary to find a more authentic version of yourself? And this is one of the questions she added.
I know. Hold on,
You ain't
y'all.
got any notes?
I do have it in my notes. Hold on, y'all. This is so
AKA,
sweet.
she's the Delta, y'all, and
Hold
her
on.
live name is
The
The Organizer.
organizer. And I got my stuff organized.
That's right. Go ahead. Oh, she was doing it
So
off the. You was doing it off the rip the whole show.
yeah, the whole time. But this question so I think losing myself was necessary. As hard as it is, it's like I said, it's uncomfortable. It's a very hard thing to lose yourself, but I feel like you become even better. You become a more beautiful person when you finally find yourself, your true self.
Mm,
Not the stuff that you lost. I'm talking about a new you. You learn more things about yourself. You learn how to live. I'm in a season of learning how to live, you know?
mm.
And that's not something I'm 26 years old. That's something I've never experienced in my life. Like, I mean, I live day to day. God wakes me up every day, but I'm saying I'm learning how to live in this season of my life.
And y'all, she said it best because I'm right there. I've told myself my my healing journey began again in 2024, January
Mhm.
2024. I remember watch night service on 2023, and I was miserable that whole day because I didn't like who I was. And I remember I was on the phone with our friend Nicole, and I said, Nicole, 2024 is going to be different. And so what I did that whole month of January is I went and I disappeared
Mm, he
on
did.
social media and I was only talking to them, but I was going to the gym every day. I was feeding my mind. I was protecting my ear gates,
Mm,
and I was determining. What I was telling by June, I was telling y'all by June,
yeah.
and
July 2nd.
July. It was July,
Mhm.
July,
Mhm.
and I was like, and it was so crazy. I was going to the gym every day, y'all, and that first month, everybody's called me crazy until they saw me in February of the results. And we'll get into the results that I was getting, but I thought that was a part of the healing process, and so I kind of faltered because now are they paying attention to me now, Makayla?
Mm.
Oh, they're they're paying attention to my healing journey, and so
Mm.
now I'm helping people here to go. This is how I fall back into the people pleasing. So now I can help people heal. What? I can help people. Da, 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 da. And so what I'm saying is I'm so thankful that you recognize how to start your own personal healing. We were on the phone before the podcast on the way, and she was saying, not without giving her business, but she was saying, this healing journey is good on the outside. Y'all see it.
Yes.
But the internal battle on the
My
inside,
God.
y'all don't see.
You don't. You don't.
I want you to elaborate that without, telling you everything. But go elaborate.
I
Why
was
is
at work. I was at work, and Jaheim said, I can't remember what prompted this. He was just like, you're doing good, Kelly. You're doing good. I said, like, I'm glad you recognize that. Like, thank you for
Mhm,
saying that. Like, I'm glad I am portraying externally that I'm doing well.
mhm.
But internally, eh, if you have never experienced an internal tug of war, I
All
don't
right.
wish that on nobody. If you have an internal influences are already crazy because it's something you deal with all the time. External things you can cut off at a certain point. Internal things you deal with 24/7, 365. So
Mhm.
imagine having a tug of war between your mind and your heart. It's two of the biggest internal factors inside of you.
Oh!
I wouldn't wish that is you have to have a strong type of mental sustenance to be able to deal with that. Seriously. It's like a fighting an uphill battle. But
While
which
dragging,
side is going to win?
while Makayla, while dragging yourself.
My God.
So, and Makayla, so what are you doing spiritually? What are you doing mentally, mental health to help you on this journey?
So,
Because this is a
mm,
journey, y'all. It is a
it is
journey.
a journey. So I am seeking out therapy, right?
Oh, hallelujah!
Because you can have Jesus and a therapist.
You can,
You can. I
and
am
you
seeking out
should.
therapy. I even told my mom, I was like, yeah, I'm going to therapy. She was like, "Oh, well, what kind of, like, what you doing, like hybrid, virtual?" I said, I'm may do virtual because my work schedule. She said, "No, baby, I think you need to sit on somebody's couch." I said, "Okay." So,
Lay
so,
on the couch. That's right, my sister.
so I'm seeking out therapy. I'm trying to journal more. I've been doing a lot of devotionals. I do have a devotional page on TikTok. Just started that. Hey sis devotional. Um, Posting devotionals.
What's the other TikTok name? Sorry, good.
I can't disclose that on here. Devotionals. I've been trying to sit down because, like I said before, a part of with losing myself is because I was always on the go. I'm trying to make time for myself now.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's hard, especially when being on the go all the time is really what you use to distract yourself. I'm
Uh-oh, uh-oh,
trying to
uh-oh.
kill
Say that again. Say that
kill the
again.
distractions. Uh-oh. That used to
Let me
be one of his themes, y'all. Kill all the distractions. And that's what I'm trying to do for myself. And that's hard
not your
because
Not your listening.
because
Come on.
distraction y'all, this boy is crazy. Distractions, it makes time go by, but when you kill all the distractions, it's just you and your thoughts and silence.
Jesus.
That is the biggest test of time, and that's what I'm dealing with. Just me and my thoughts. Mm-mm.
And and I'm glad you said that because here it is reverting back 2024 when I was truly killing distractions.
Mm.
Truly. Okay. I felt that the tug of war in time was easier because and I felt like it was more
Mm.
natural to deal with it because I was dealing with it without the eyes of other people, without the demands of other people, without the demands of da 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 da. I think I stopped preaching a little while, and 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 I really stopped the podcast too because I was like, okay, come on now. But I realized, and I might need to go back to that. I might need to go back to that, kill the distraction, and really, because it's so easy to get distracted. Because when you start dealing with yourself, the internal battles, and you start really focusing in on it, you have to go through some muddy waters.
Mhm.
That could be years of layers of mud that you have piled on, and at the bottom, you know what's at the bottom? You. What's at the bottom, Makayla, is us. But we have piled relationships, we piled jobs, we piled ministry, we piled Greek organizations, we piled this, we piled family, you are auntie, you piled this, you piled that. And at the end of the day, you wake up and you say, I'm gonna excuse my friend. No, I'm what in the double hockey sticks happened to me?
What happened to me?
And it's because not so much you got lost, you got distracted. Lord,
By
kill our
choice at that.
distraction.
By
And
choice at that.
ooh, say
Because
that again.
by choice at that. Because you don't want to
Elaborate on
deal
that.
with what
Elaborate on that. By choice. What do you mean
because
by choice? What do you mean by choice?
when you're busy, like when you got a million things going, you got a million things on your plate, these things didn't just naturally come to you. You had to say yes. You had to pick
Mm.
up certain tasks. You're constantly surrounding yourself with these distractions so you don't have to look at the root of the problem. Like you told me earlier, I'm running. You running from what needs to be handled.
No, sometimes I don't be thinking my friends be listening to me, but she listens. And and they call it me turning me to Dr. Phil. But Makayla, you kind of bring something back to my understanding. I gotta switch that up. See, I gotta switch that up. The rest of the I gotta go back to that. I gotta put that back. Kill distractions. Because the mind
Mhm.
is the most powerful thing we got on our bodies. And it wars with the heart. Oh, let me bless you here. Let me
That's
bless
a good war.
you. It wars with the heart. And so if you can keep your mind distracted, it'll, you know what I mean, you don't have to deal with the issues of the heart. And if you here it is, vice versa. If you keep your heart distracted, you don't have to deal with the issues of your mind. God, let me that I hope that clips. I hope that clips Makayla Wilson. Girl, you got me thinking. So, mental health. So what does finding Makayla again looks like? Going back to the notes.
Finding Makayla again.
Mhm. Truly, Makayla. Let me say that.
Finding me is like how we just said, slowing myself down,
Mhm.
stopping all my distractions to analyze my life. Um, because how can you upgrade yourself into the new you, the authentic you, if you haven't even had time to basically analyze all of the mess? I'm gonna just say mess, all of the mess.
You
You
know,
can't
it's
you
on my
can't
mind,
bring
right?
yourself out of something that you don't even want to touch. So definitely some self-reflection,
Mhm.
self-analyzation, accountability, because
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
life be life, and
Mhm.
but how did it get there? You had to have some type of hand on it. So accountability, holding myself accountable, um, and loving myself.
Oh, Shundo!
Mm,
I
loving myself in all aspects.
oh God. Girl, don't let me throw my shoe at you.
Do it.
I think I agree. And I think that's how I really y'all I really want to I'm in this process of healing y'all and it's a journey
Mhm,
and Makayla, that's one of the biggest things, finding the love for me
mhm,
without people validating me, without people co-signing. I think for so long I've been trying to find a co-signer
mm,
to validate everything that I know is true about me.
mm.
So here it is. So I was, you look for those cosigners, family, relationship, whatever it may be, to it's kind of like, when you call it's kind of like they're giving you permission to be.
Mm. You don't need permission.
Say that again.
You don't need permission.
You don't need permission to be you. You don't. God is good. But that's the war that we deal with daily. To admit it's so admit it's so it's like so crazy that you'll be sending pictures to people like, should I post? What? Who gives a crap who likes it? If you like it, post it.
Post it. Seriously.
How should I get my hair done? What?
Mm.
I remember when I dyed my hair brown, people was like, well, I was like, because I wanted to. Like, why you moving here? Because I want to. Why you? Because I want to. And I don't need you to agree with me because there's only one person I need to agree with.
Hello.
Hiya! Uh,
What?
I hope that clips. I really do. So we're almost about to wrap up here, but the most important thing that
Mm.
Makayla, that I think this last segment, I'm gonna be short. Now it's my job.
Mm.
It's your job to protect your own peace.
Mm. You got to.
And so, what do you now guard, Makayla, that you didn't guard before?
Ooh. In this season of just healing and analyzing what I'm guarding now, besides my peace, everybody say protect your peace, protect your peace.
Yeah, and they don't be protecting their peace. And that's neither here nor there.
Oh, and in this season, in this season, you have to be careful. But I think one thing that I am definitely guarding now is definitely going to be my boundaries and my time for sure. Definitely my boundaries, definitely my time.
You can't get time back, man.
No, you can't. Time is very, when people talk
Precious.
about like like the invaluable things in life, like something that's priceless. Time is priceless, literally. And the fact that you just willing to willy nilly just give everybody your time, and sometimes they're not deserving. You have to protect your time. You have to protect your bound. You have to establish boundaries and then protect them. And that goes back to that people pleasing. You have to set boundaries, and it's hard. It's easier said than done. But once you do that, protect them.
I think for me, it's time and it's people. For me, is attention, time, attention.
Mm,
What am I? What am I? Not time, but what am I paying attention to?
mhm, mhm.
You know, what am I putting in prioritizing? What am I putting in the background? What am I putting forward, and what am I
Yes,
putting to the side? I think
yes.
I think that's another thing. But how do you stay aligned with the real you? So how are you staying aligned with your goals? Like what are you doing to stay aligned with finding Kayla again? You protect your mind. That's how you garden. But how do you stay on track?
You have to be intentional. You have
He's
to go into
intentional.
something exactly. Go into something with a mindset and stick to it and be intentional. Don't just say it just to say it. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Be intentional about how you want to be aligned and how you want to heal for sure. Um, let me look at my notes.
Look at your notes. Look at your notes.
Definitely. Okay, so be intentional for sure.
Mhm.
If I want to be aligned with the real me, definitely. I mean, not everybody is religious. I'm not going to, force my religion on everybody, but definitely for me, staying close to God for sure
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
how I stay aligned because life is a crazy windy path. But I feel like if you keep your hand to God, He's going to no matter what's on the path, whether it's rocky, it's uphill, downhill. at a slope, at an angle. If you keep your hand to him, he's gonna keep you aligned. So definitely that for sure. And just being intentional.
I agree with that. And the last question of the night,
Oh,
I think,
oh,
is one of the most important question
mm,
because we can be our own critic. We can be our worst enemy.
definitely.
So how do we and give the advice to people while also talking to yourself, Makayla? How
Mm.
do you give yourself grace while trying to become whole again? And that's one of the hardest piece about this journey. It really is.
Mm. How do I give myself grace? Reassurance. You have to give your. Don't
Oh,
start. Don't start.
I
Don't start.
that just blessed me.
I
Y'all,
know.
that really just blessed me. Reassurance.
Reassurance for sure. Okay. I'm getting distracted. Okay, so how do I give myself grace? Lord have mercy. Y'all, it's been a long day. I'm sorry. All right, so how do I give myself grace? Definitely, I have to remind myself that when you go on this healing journey, it's not going to be cupcakes and flowers and glitter. Like it's a rough journey. It's not going to be linear. Like it's not just going to be like just a
Mhm.
straight, or it's
Yep.
not going to be
Yep.
up. Like it's you could be up one day, you can be down. You can be up at 8 o'clock and down by 9:30. Healing is rough and it takes time. It's not going to be pretty. Some days like you feel strong, and this is me talking for real. Some days I feel strong. The other days I feel lost, but you have to remember that whether you feel strong, lost, you feel positive, you feel negative, it's literally all a part of the process and you have to trust the process. It's you have to be able to take time for you and not feel guilty. You have to want progress over perfection because your journey is not going to be perfect. And you have to remind yourself that you're not going to be fixed overnight. It's going to take time.
And you said a whole mouthful, but you said the truth. I think for me, the biggest thing that I have to tell myself, because we're in that instant gratification,
Hmm.
and I had to tell myself, and some people remind me all the time, it didn't, I didn't get here overnight.
Mm-mm.
Can I bless you here? So I'm not going to be fixed
Mm.
overnight. I'm not going to be fixed on my timetable.
Exactly.
But if I stay consistent, if I stay eager, if I
Mhm.
stay moving, then I will be on the right track. And
Exactly.
I think that's how I stay when I'm on my health. Like I didn't go to the gym today, y'all. I'll crucify me. I'm not
That's
going.
okay.
And that's okay. 'Cause I'm not going. Going tomorrow. Okay. So that's a use another
It's
podcast.
crazy.
But but I think Makayla, you said it. It is about gracing yourself
Mhm.
to endure, and it's about really gracing yourself to build your legacy. Oh,
Mm.
tying it back together. You can't build your legacy if you don't know who you are, people.
Mhm.
You can't build your legacy. I'm looking at camera one, not camera two. I'm just practicing one day when I got two cameras right here.
Crazy.
Uh, I'm looking at camera one. You can't build yourself a legacy if you don't know who you are.
Mm.
And you can't heal if you don't give yourself time to heal.
Mm.
This is point blank, period.
That's true
Period.
though.
You really can't. And I think stop looking for people who be lying on social media, who be lying on this, talk about you can get healed quick because your therapist will
No.
tell you it ain't gonna happen.
No.
Because, like you said, like an onion, there's different layers that you don't know that's on top of you.
Mhm.
And so
That's very true. That's
you can't
very true.
go ahead, go ahead.
That's something I had to tell. That's something I had to realize because I'm like, dang, I've been on this healing journey for a month, 2 months. I still feel
Right,
like that I'm still reeling and dealing every day. But you gotta realize you didn't like how you say you didn't get there overnight. It's not an instant type
no,
of thing. Like it took time for you to get messed up, and it's going to take time for you to fix yourself.
right. But I think what it is we're like, okay, we don't want to waste no more time.
Mm,
I think that's what it is. We don't want to waste no more time. So it was like, let's can I heal quick? Can I heal quick so I can get
I
to
don't.
the part of me that I wanted to be in? Because I feel like I gotta do it before I'm 30. I gotta do it before I'm 40. I gotta do this. So I don't need to be healing in my 30s because I should already be established.
Look, I don't want no quick temporary fix,
Me
okay?
either.
I
Me
want
either.
something that's a permanent foundation, something that's gonna last. Mm,
Because a quick fix evaporates like this, and now you gotta go find somewhere else to get it again.
mm.
But that firm
Exactly.
foundation
That's what I want.
you can stand on
That's
and
on
and
now.
listen. How ya? Son of no, this ain't church. We ain't trying to go church, but good church. But when you stand on that, when you have a foundation, you know what it is. You know what direction. There's only one direction you can go when you have a firm foundation, because you build on top and you go
Mm,
up on the
mm,
foundation. So here it is. Let me bless y'all, and we're gonna get out of here. Let me bless you. When you're pouring the concrete on the foundation, that's when it's time to spread. Oh,
that's good.
it's time to spread, and you let it settle, and it's hardened by the sun. It's hardened by the elements. It's hardened. The stuff that's in the concrete, it settles.
Mm.
But when the builders step on it, and
He
know
higher
that it
than he was.
and know that it's firm, then now I can put in the master bedroom. Now I can put in the garage. Now I can do this because you know why, Makayla? It can handle the weight. God, that was good. That was good. So here it is. I want to tell you all, for those who are trying to find yourself again in your foundation season, your healing season, let it spread.
Mm,
And every crack and every crevices that you didn't know that was empty. Because that's what it is. That's what concrete does. It spreads all to the empty spaces.
mm.
Uh-oh. Can I bless you here? It
Level
spreads
it.
all to the empty spaces. And once you know it's firm and found, and you can walk across it, and you see no holes, no cracks, build your house.
I almost threw this laptop.
Build your house and
Ooh.
and and live in it well, because you've done it. Okay, we gotta get out here because we can talk for long. And this not only is this my first guest, this is as long as I've been on this podcast. So
Mm.
we gonna wrap it up. Makayla, one truth you want every listener to walk away.
Take it from me, y'all. Hear me and hear me good.
Speak loud in your mic so they hear.
Hear me and
There
hear
it
me
is. There it
good.
is.
My God. Don't It's inevitable to lose yourself sometimes, but don't let yourself get to rock bottom, to the place of no return, okay? Just to say like I deserve more. If something really feels off to you, give yourself grace and just know that you're allowed to reset. You're allowed to pause and it's okay to choose you. Even if you're still trying to figure out who me or who you is. It's okay. That's all I got.
I live my
All I
house.
have.
And
Okay,
with
Heen,
that,
what's your takeaway?
my takeaway. So I'm speaking in the mic. My takeaway, y'all. Camera one, not camera two. Camera one. Uh, my takeaway, y'all, is that nobody knows you
Mm,
but you.
that's true.
Not even your parents. They may know a version of you. They may know the version they have in their head of you, but nobody knows you like you.
Mm,
And so when you look in the mirror or when you wake up one day and something in your head said, "This is not me." Trust it. Pause life. Pause whatever distractions you have on you and go find you again. Because can I tell you this? You are worth finding.
Mm.
You are worth finding. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long you may think it is, Makayla Wilson.
The government is
Yes,
crazy.
the government. You are worth finding.
Whew.
Anybody who's listening to this podcast tomorrow,
Mm.
because it airs, not tomorrow, we recorded, my bad. Whenever it airs, you listen to me 5 years from now, whatever. Look at me. You are worth finding. Don't let nobody else ever say you're not worth finding, because you are. And when you realize that, go find yourself. And when you find yourself, go be great, because that's what we need. We need your greatness. The world needs your greatness. Well, family, this is not going to be her last time.
My God.
But she can always say when she comes on Legacy Builders podcast that she was. Go ahead. Say it. Say it.
I was the first.
She
The
was.
first guest.
She was the
My
first
God.
guest. And I want you to pray for her. I want
Mm.
you to really pray for her. Not because she ain't nothing wrong with her, but because this healing
Yeah,
journey is
y'all
real.
don't be going around telling that.
All right, ain't nothing wrong
Yeah.
with her.
But
This healing
healing
is real.
is very taxing, very draining. So
Yes.
just yeah.
So until next time, family. It's Legacy Builders Podcast with your host, Jaheim President. And I want you to like, share, and like what is this again? How did I lose me? And
Mm.
I think this is a season of guests, because I got another guest coming on. See, and it's gonna be crazy. I think we're finally Legacy Builders. I've let me just speak life to Legacy Builders. I think I've spread the concrete,
Mm.
and
You
I
let
think
Makayla
Makayla, it's a season now to build my house.
build
So,
it.
hiya!
Ooh.
I'm gonna build it. All right, family. I love y'all. We'll see y'all.
Hi y'all.
We'll see y'all. Oh, and shameless plug. I think this is the prequel to another podcast that we have. Makayla, what's the name of that podcast?
I was about to sing the song. I ain't gonna do that. Straight out the group chat. Y'all tap in the straight out the group chat. We now that Heem has given us some tools, our biggest thing was just posting the content.
Oh yeah.
But now that we know what we know,
Ha!
yeah, we're gonna have another episode coming soon.
Yeah, no, that really was a game changer. That
Mm-hmm.
really is a game changer.
Yeah.
It is, because this, when you're doing a podcast by yourself, you don't got the media. I don't have the media team yet. We don't have the media.
Mm.
She is media. She is background. She is all that stuff for Straight Out of Group Chat, and I am all that for Legacy Builders Podcast. But I believe that God is sending us a team somewhere, somehow.
Yes.
We're sending resources because we're
Yes.
spreading our foundation. But family, that's all we have for you. Tune in next time. Make sure you like and share and like, and tell Makayla that she's the best. Wait, Makayla.